Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Muhammad Atif and this is the summary of today's lesson. Today we started Unit 2, Lesson 3, English Student Book, page number 24 and 25. In previous class, we have started this lesson and we have completed the first page of the lesson. And today we resumed the same lesson and we started the lesson from activity 3. Before we started the lesson, I've shared the learning objectives of today's lesson, the purpose of today's lesson, that why we are going to discuss this lesson or what is the purpose of learning this lesson. So lesson objectives of today's lesson are speaking, talk about what we are good at and what we can show other people to do. Like how we can inspire other people, and read instructions for how to draw a cartoon superhero character. Then what makes us think about after this lesson is like what makes a superhero and what does a superhero look like, what does he or she wear and what does he or she hold. And then in long language focus we discussed giving instructions. And in vocabulary, we discussed some new words like how to describe superhero, some adjectives, and how it looked like wearing a mask, wearing armbands, wearing a cap, wearing a belt, the expression on his or her face, and how to draw, and some other words like press hard, raise, rub out. And I've also shared some of the vocabulary words with the class in my next slide. Draw. Draw means to make a picture of something or someone with a pencil or pen. Guideline, advise people on how something should be done or what something should be. And symbol, a sign, shape, or object that is used to represent something else. And then logo. Logo is a design or symbol used by a company to advertise its products. So these are some vocabularies, just few from all. So I've discussed this with class also during the lesson. After that, we continued our reading and students read these instructions how to draw a superhero. And then we discussed these images, like first image is about to make a circle and to draw a superhero's head, then to draw his mask, then draw expressions on his or her face. After that, draw superhero's body, okay, costume, clothes, boots, and then belts, as you can see, then the body structure, and then raise the guidelines and color the color your superhero. So we discussed these instructions step by step, and I've shared the answers of activity 2, and activity 2 was like what is the first step when we want to draw superhero and what is the last step, what is the first thing and what is the last thing we do when we want to draw a superhero sketch or painting. So the first step is draw superhero's head, and the last step is to add some colors. Last step is add some color. So I've shared the answers with the students also. This is the answer of activity 2. Draw a superhero's head. This is the first step. And add some color. This is the final step, last step. So after that, we discussed the grammar portion. I'm going to include it also in the summary video. Instructions. Basically, instructions means when we want someone to do something, like we say, so we give them instructions, and instructions are also called imperative verbs or imperative sentences, because these types of sentences starts with an order or an advice. So uh, imperatives are verbs that create an imperative sentences, a sentence that gives a command or an order. When reading an imperative sentence, it will always sound like someone is bossing someone around, like someone is ordering to someone or giving instructions. So these are some example sentences. You can see sit, don't, be, go. All are these verbs, and sentences starts with a verb or an action, or you can say an order or an instruction. So when you want to guide someone how to do something, usually we give them instructions or advice. So we express this thing with the help of imperative sentences. So if you want to make it polite, we can also use the word please, okay, in our sentence, like please sit down. So this is more polite, more respectful way. If you want to guide or give instructions to your elder one, so we should use please with our sentence, in our sentence. Okay, so these are also some example sentences of instructions, like draw, add, don't, okay, draw. So these are all examples of giving instructions or imperative sentences. So that was the today's lesson. For hopefully you understand it properly. Thank you for your time and joining the lesson. Take care and Allah Hafiz.